Good morning. You are listening to Pooja Kushwaha. After hike, tax collection of Delhi government falls in August. Government considering roping in third party to study how to boost tax collection. The tax revenue collection of the Delhi government was lesser in August compared to July, after steadily increasing in May, June, and July. However, the sum is lesser than last year's collection according to the state government's monthly tax collection figures. After hitting the lowest in April, it had increased by 181.5% in May compared to April. It hiked by 25.18% in June and 30.9% in July, but fell by 3.2% in August. The revenue collection of the Delhi government for April to August is down by 53% compared to the estimated collection as per the annual budget 2020-21. The tax revenue collection is from 5 streams: VAT from petrol and diesel, GST, excise tax, stamps and registration tax, and motor vehicle tax. In April, the amount was rupees 525.50 crore and it increased to rupees 1479.66 crore in May, rupees 1852.37 crore in June, and rupees 2424.79 crore in July. But it fell to rupees 2341.65 crore in August. Compared to July, the GST, excise tax and motor vehicle tax have decreased. Last week, Finance Minister Manish Sisodia had told The Hindu in an interview that the state government will continue with the schemes for free water, electricity and free bus ride for women, which cost hundreds of crores, despite the economy being in a very bad state. The government is considering to rope in a third party to study how to boost tax revenue collection, especially GST, said officials, but a decision is yet to be taken. Due to the fall in tax revenue, the government has reduced its expenditure to rupees 11,376.44 crore during April to July, compared to rupees 14,411.94 crore during the same period last year. It is reduction of 21%. Why less? Lesser tax collection could be because there was no demand in April and May, and there was pent-up demand in June and July, which would have decreased in August. You did not buy in April, May, and there would have been an uptick in July, said Arun Kumar, economist, and Malcolm S. Adishesh, chair professor at the Institute of Social Sciences. When asked about the fall in GST collection in August, Mr. Kumar said, "It is difficult to comment on it without knowing which month's collection it actually corresponds to." He said that the government had given an extension for payment of GST of February and March till June due to the pandemic, and this could have reflected in June and even July's figures. With consumer confidence still low and unemployment high, I do not see a recovery in September. But it is difficult to make predictions and everything depends on the pandemic, Mr. Kumar said. During the festive season in October, there will be some increase, but it will be muted compared to last year or the year before, he added. 40% children not fully vaccinated, NSO report. Immunization program of 8 required vaccine is not completed. Although almost all children in India are vaccinated against tuberculosis and receive their birth dose of polio vaccine, 2 out of 5 children do not complete their immunization program, according to the Health in India report recently published by the National Statistical Organization, NSO. Most of these children remain unprotected against measles and partially protected against a range of other diseases. In the national capital, less than half of all children have been given all 8 required vaccines. The report is based on the 75th round of the National Sample Survey, July 2017 to July 2018, on household social consumption related to health. Across the country, only 59.2% of children under 5 years are fully immunized, according to the NSO report. This contradicts the Center's Health Management Information System portal data, which claimed that full immunization coverage for 2017 to 18 stood at 86.7%. Full immunization means that a child receives a cocktail of 8 vaccine doses in the first year of life. The BCG vaccine injected in a single dose shortly after birth, which protects against a childhood attack of tuberculosis. About 97% of children across the country received at least one vaccination, mostly BCG and or the first dose of OPV at birth, a statistic and remains steady across income groups and geographies. However, only 67% of children are protected against measles. Only 58% got their polio booster dose, while 54% got their DPT booster dose. Among states, Manipur 75%, Andhra Pradesh 73.6% and Mizoram 73.4% recorded the highest rate of full immunization. At the other end of the spectrum lies Nagaland, where only 12% of children received all vaccinations, followed by Pondicherry 34% and Tripura 39.6%. The vast majority of these vaccinations, 95% in rural India and 86% in cities, were carried out in government health facilities and primary health centers, which will be the same facilities used to distribute and administer the COVID-19 vaccine whenever it is made available. The pandemic has already impacted the childhood vaccination program. However, with an April 2020 study conducted by the advocacy group Child Rights and You finding that only half of Indian families with children under 5 years were able to access immunization services during the lockdown. GDP to shrink 14.8%. Goldman. Brokerage cuts financial year 2021 estimate on COVID-19 hit sees sharp rebound next fiscal. The Indian economy is the worst hit among major economies, American brokerage Goldman Sachs said on Tuesday, sharply cutting its financial year 2021 GDP forecast to a contraction of 14.8%. It had earlier estimated that the economy of the country, which is now home to the second largest number of COVID-19 infections, to contract by 11.8%. The estimate comes days after official data said the economy contracted by 23.9% for the June 2020 quarter as activity across all sectors barring agriculture contracted due to the lockdowns. The nearly 2-month-long lockdowns chilled economic activity but was unable to contain the number of infections, which stands at 40 lakh. India's GDP hit from COVID-19, the highest across major economies, analysts at the brokerage wrote. They now believe that the economy will contract 13.7% for the September quarter and 9.8% for the December quarter, compared with the 10.7% and 6.7% contractions respectively estimated earlier. Our estimates imply that the real GDP falls by 11.1% in 2020 and by 14.8% in financial year 2021, they added. Most pessimistic, the 14.8% contraction is among the most pessimistic of all the analyst estimates till now. Earlier, analysts at India Ratings and Research revised down their estimate to an 11.8% contraction for financial year 2021, while economists at India's largest lender SBI are now expecting at 10.9% contraction. The brokerage said there would be a sharp rebound in financial year 2022 due to the low base. It estimated GDP growth of 15.7% in the next fiscal, assuming 70% of the output lost in June is recovered in June 2021. They expect real GDP growth of 27.1% in the April-June 2021 quarter. Global economy to contract 4.4%, China to grow at 2.7%. Fitch sees positive global spillovers from China's recovery. Fitch Ratings on Tuesday projected global GDP to contract 4.4% in the current year but revised upward China's growth estimate to 2.7% for 2020. In its September update to the global economy's outlook, Fitch Ratings cut its 2020 GDP forecast for emerging markets excluding China to 5.7% from minus 4.7% estimated in June, mainly on account of a huge downward revision to India GDP forecast for the financial year ending March 2021. Fitch has slashed India's growth projection to minus 10.5% from minus 5% estimated earlier after official data released last week showed at April-June 2020 quarter GDP contracted by 23.9%. Limited fiscal support. India imposed one of the most strengthened lockdown worldwide in second quarter 2020 and domestic demand fell massively. Limited fiscal support, fragilities in the financial system, and a continued rise in virus cases hamper a rapid normalization in activity, Fitch said. It projected the US GDP to contract 4.6% in 2020, less than the 5.6% decline it had forecast in June. Fitch revised China's GDP growth forecast to 2.7% from 1.2% in June, following the stronger than expected April-June outcome and continuing recoveries in investment, housing, and exports. It is important not to underestimate the positive global spillovers that will flow from China's recovery, the ratings agency said. Bharat Dynamics crashes 14% as government divests stake. Retail buyer get rupees 20 discount in OFS. Shares of public sector undertaking Bharat Dynamics Limited plunged 13.9% to rupees 331.15 a share on the BSE as the union government began the process of divesting a further 15% stake in the PSU through an offer for sale at a floor price of rupees 330 per share. Period of the OFS, which will continue on Wednesday, the government had an 87.75% stake. The company went public in May 2018 at an offer price of rupees 428. The current market price is aligned to the OFS price. The drop in stock price was bound to happen as the OFS is coming at a discount to CMP, said Arjun Mahajan, head institutional at Reliance Securities. He said, though the stock was still trading at a discount to its IPO price, the recent government push to increase on increasing domestic defense procurement. Higher localization and focus on lean cost structure would drive revenue growth for the PSU. Additionally, the recent standoff between India and China border further makes a compelling argument for Make in India and focus on defense capabilities built up. Thus, this offer for sale is a good opportunity to look at the stock, he said. For the retail investor, there is a further discount of Rs 20 and thus it may be worth considering. Defense is a focus sector and such opportunities should be considered for investors who have long-term investment horizon, added Mr. Mahajan.